everyone, this is Lorraine and Brian and Graham, and today he's 8 weeks, he's almost 2 months old, and I thought we'd go over the first month of essential items for a newborn baby and a couple things that go into the next month, but it really hasn't changed from the first month. Well, a little bit, you know, things, he obviously is advanced in that month, but you really don't need much more in that time period. So first thing that I'm going to go over, we've got, basically you want to keep it pretty simple, but I think like Graham, he was 8 pounds 11 ounces at birth, and so you don't necessarily think that a baby would need newborn clothes when they're that size, because a lot of companies say 7 pounds and under are for the newborns, but he still wore newborn clothes because he's, I think he's kind of long and lean. So I think that's part of it, but I do think that you should get a couple of newborn things. However, he's been wearing these since the very beginning, which these are our favorite onesies to put on him because they're very simple, but these are considered 0 to 3 months, and they're from the company Giggle. And what we like about these ones is they, you can put them wherever you're going to change him, put them down first because they fully open, and then you just kind of put on, you know, you snap it and then put everything together. But these ones are probably the best ones in my opinion. They say some babies don't like having clothing put over their head, but he doesn't care at all. But if you're trying to be really delicate with a baby, this is a lot easier than trying to put it over their head, because it is like you don't want to like hurt them in any way, so you just are a lot more careful. So you need definitely onesies. I think plain basic onesies are the best. For his style, we always just use kind of more basic. We don't like prints on things. We just keep it like nice and simple. And so my favorite brands are the Splendid. He wears a lot of Splendid clothes. Like today he's wearing a little Splendid onesie. He wears a lot of Splendid pants. And Splendid seems to run a little bit on the smaller side. So their 0 to 3 month fit him for the, initially for a long time, whereas a lot of other brands that were 0 to 3 months didn't fit him. So I think you need definitely like, how many onesies do you think?
Good amount.
I think if you have like 6 to 8 probably, you're pretty good. And I think that you should probably get them in 0 to 3 months on the smaller side, like companies that are on the smaller side. So I would highly recommend these ones by Giggle that are the crossover. They do make these also in white and in blue and in pink. He has the white and blue, obviously not the pink. But also this brand Splendid works out really well. And then there's like companies like Baby Gap and stuff that make the newborn ones, but they're a lot shorter. So for him, those worked out for probably the first like 6 weeks, but now he is not able to wear those anymore. And then as far as pants go, we keep the pants really simple too. And I think that a baby should probably have at least the same amount of pants. 6 to 8 pairs of pants, and he's actually worn newborn pants since the very beginning, so that's somewhere where he's a lot leaner, so he needs newborn pants. But like when we first had him, I think maybe like 2 days after he was born, or maybe 3 days after he was born, we ended up going to Target to buy more newborn pants because all the 0 to 3 month pants were way too big on him. Now he's at the point where he's 8 weeks now, where he's actually starting to get a little bit bigger. So 0 to 3 months and some brands are starting to fit him really nicely, but then he still wears his newborn pants. I don't think there's any pants that he doesn't fit into anymore yet. He still fits in the newborn ones. So I think you need pants. And then you need something to wear on their feet, because I absolutely hate babies that have bare feet. I don't know, I'm a big fan of shoes, so that's probably like my thing. But shoes on a baby are not practical. They are always falling off and stuff, so you want socks that are like good socks. This is where I like to bring in like his like little like fun part of his outfit is with his socks. And these, I don't remember what the brand of these are, but I'll post it down below. I'll post everything I mentioned down below in the description box. These are all the same brand that he has on right now.
If they said the name on the bottom.
I know, I don't think they do though. Just the size. These are 0 to 12 months. His feet are relatively big though, where he didn't actually fit into some of his socks when he was born.
Or the little onesie.
And even the pants with the little like feet on the bottom. Some of those are a little bit too tight on his feet, which is funny. But the pant part fits, but his feet are rather large. And now that he's at 2 months old, the socks are really awesome because he's discovering his feet, and he just like, he kicks and he looks at his feet and he loves them so much. So I think like if you get a little bit more fun of a sock, it's actually very helpful for the baby. It's not like they can see a print on their shirt unless you show them themselves in the mirror, but they see their socks. So right now, at this point, he's kind of like kicking and he's like noticing his socks, and it's really the cutest thing ever. Also, I think that you should have little sleeper pajamas. A lot of people told us that you'd need the ones that are like a gown, but I don't think it's that big of a deal to change a diaper in the middle of the night that you have to unzip all the way.
Seems to be fun.
It seems to be fine. I know some people like the gowns because they say it's just like you're tired in the middle of the night and you just want to lift it and be done with it. But we really never used any of the gowns because I don't like the idea of even seeing him in the gown. It's like that's a pretty superficial thing, but I just don't like the gowns. Did he ever even sleep in one of the gowns?
No, he didn't.
Okay, so we just always had him in little cute pajamas, which he seemed to really like. The other thing that people always talk about are mittens on babies. And in our hospital, they provided onesies that had like things to go over the hands. But I absolutely hate mittens on babies. So I just was against it. So the trick is to keep their hands, their fingers trimmed. So because we didn't want him scratching his face and whatnot, or scratching his eyeballs, and the mittens are what people use to prevent that, we wanted to just keep his nails really short. I'm a big fan of really short fingernails anyway, because I don't like when I see people with dirt under their fingernails. Like, that's my #1 pet peeve. So we found this, and this is really amazing. It's called the Zoli, and it's a nail trimmer. Well, it's basically a buffer sander kind of thing, and it comes with these little buffing things on it, and you change them out according to their months. The pink is 0 to 3 months, this is 3 to 6, but his nails feel a little harder than when they were first there, because when they're first born, their nails are basically fused to their skin. So it's like, how am I supposed to cut a nail that's fused to the skin? Well, these, they just kind of buff, and they made it really soft and really they just sand them down really nicely. And I think what we do when to buffer his nails down is the best time to do it is when he's feeding. So I'll be breastfeeding him, and Brian will take his hand and kind of sand down the nail. And it seems fine, and it keeps the nails really short. And then if he scratches himself, which when he gets angry, he does have a tendency to want to scratch his face and whatnot, there isn't a problem.
Works good.
Yeah, it works really, really well.
And it doesn't hurt.
And it doesn't hurt him. And then we're not going to cut off his fingertip, which I've heard many people do. So I think that brings us into kind of grooming. So let's talk about bathing. I think that when you first have a baby, and I've taken like baby basics care class and stuff like that, so I take all the information in that I can get. You really don't want to put anything harsh on a baby. You really want to keep away from like soaps and stuff initially. Plus, the baby isn't really getting that dirty. So bathing them, we bathe him every like 2 to 3 days with just shampoo. And I recommend having a bathtub, but more so than the actual bathtub is this kind of foaming little thing. The bathtub that we own at home is by 4Moms. It's called the Clearwater tub. And it came with this foam thing insert for newborns, but I've seen the foam inserts just like this at Babies R Us, like any kind of baby store. You'll be able to find just the foam insert, which is great. And this is basically, I think, all you'd actually need if you didn't want to have a bathtub. Because I did wash him when he was first born. I wet this and I put it on the countertop and I just kind of washed him on this, which was really easy and really nice. So you don't necessarily need a bathtub, but a bathtub is nice to have. But the foam insert is really like the essential part of it. Our bathtub is really nice though, the Clearwater one, because it does have a temperature gauge on it, so you don't have to worry about the water being too hot or too cold for the baby. You just want to make it really comfortable. So you put this insert in, make sure it's wet, and then what you need with the foam is washcloths. You need to have washcloths because even when you're not bathing your baby every day, you want to still wipe them down every day. So having nice washcloths, I think, is essential. These washcloths are really, really nice. They are by Aiden and Anai. And we have like 8 of them, I think. And I think that's the perfect amount. I think you want to have at least like 6 to 8 washcloths because you are using one every day. Especially, I use a couple a day because I wipe his face off a couple times a day. And you wipe their face because that's going to be the dirtiest part of their body. That's where you want to wipe first, and then you wipe the rest of their body. But just basically water baths initially, except for hair. You do want to wash their hair. And what we use is this Mistela foam shampoo for newborns. And it's good. We've used a couple other ones, and he initially, at I think about 3 weeks, he got baby acne pretty badly, and he kind of broke out on his forehead, and I swear it was from the shampoo that we used initially, like the forehead breaking out was from the shampoo. He also had kind of cradle cap, which this has actually helped tremendously, so he doesn't have cradle cap anymore. He doesn't have baby acne anymore after we used that one shampoo, but the baby acne ended up going away after we changed the soap, but also after I eliminated milk out of my diet, like dairy out of my diet. So it could have been either one of those things, but it probably was the dairy. I'm thinking it was more the dairy than the baby acne on his face. So that. And then you need some kind of towel to dry the baby. And we've got all these little cute little towels to dry him that have like arm slots and stuff, and they are not practical. The best towel that I think are the ones like this, and it's probably nice to have at least 2 bath towels. And then this one has a hood, so you put the hood over their head and you swaddle them up in the thing, and then you carry them like that. If you're trying to put their hands through and they're like, it's just not so good. This is just a lot better. So this is a towel by the company Little Giraffe, and I really, really like these ones. I also have ones by the same company, Aiden and Anai, and they are super nice. So those are really, really nice as well. Next, diapering a baby. People always say to stock up on diapers. That's the one thing they say, to stock up on diapers, but realistically, how are you supposed to know what size diaper your baby's going to be? So my recommendation for diapers is to buy a small package of newborn and to buy a small package of size 1. That way you're not going to be wasteful. You don't think so?
A couple different packs of newborn to try out, see which ones work good.
Well, yeah, I guess you want to try out, because I did buy 2 newborn ones, and I don't think I actually bought any size 1, and he didn't end up needing it whatsoever. But I bought Huggies newborn diapers because they have an umbilical cord cutout, which is nice. especially with baby. And I also bought Pampers Newborn, a pack of those, and we ended up liking these better. My recommendation though is to, every time you go to the store and you're going to want to buy diapers during your pregnancy, just buy a gift card. Spend like $25 or $30 or $20 or whatever you can at the time, and just buy gift cards and put them aside to whatever store is most convenient for you. Because if you're buying all these packs of diapers and they don't work out, I just don't think it's that realistic. Plus, it takes up so much space. They take up a lot of space. And if you have space, fine. But I just think realistically, buying gift cards is much easier. And when you have a baby, I think you would kind of go stir crazy if you're in the house, like, you know, all the time. So it's nice to get out a little bit and get a little fresh air. Go to the store, get a diaper, you know. It's nice. Or order them online if you're really like, whatever, you've got the gift card now. So for diapering for him, our favorite diapers were the Pampers. These ones are just Pampers Swaddlers. We actually used the Pampers Sensitive Swaddlers the most in size newborn, and up until about a week ago, a week or two ago, he was size newborn diaper. And a lot of babies I've heard that are at his weight level are not necessarily a newborn for that long. So it's really hard to say, because he's almost 9-pound baby, and he wore these when he was still at least 11 pounds. I think he's like 13 pounds now, and he was wearing these up till 2 weeks ago, but I think he's gone through like a growth spurt recently. But we like the Pampers, and I've read that Pampers are better for boys and I think the reason is that they're tight around the legs. When we had the Huggies ones on them, you could literally like look into his diaper around the legs, which was not good. So we really didn't use those that much. It was nice to have the umbilical cord cut out, but with the baby ones that are like this, you just fold them down. You just fold them and then tape them, and they are perfectly fine. You need wipes, and the wipes, initially you're not even supposed to use baby wipes on them. You're supposed to use just like paper towels kind of thing and water. And you're supposed to use just paper towels and water. And the thing that I learned about online on YouTube, actually, from Anna, the Style Diet, were these wipes. They're called water wipes. So they're 99.9% water and then 0.1% grapefruit seed extract. And so these are perfect, as they say, suitable for newborns, because they don't have all the harsh chemicals in them, and it's much easier than having your tub of water, dipping a paper towel in it and wiping them off. Although we did do that for the first week or two, maybe a week. Maybe a week. So, but now we've been using these exclusively, and he has had no reactions. Every once in a while he does have some kind of like little redness around his butt if he like has a hard time going to the bathroom or something. So we've really liked this Mistela Vitamin Barrier Diaper Rash Cream. So next, feeding. You are going to, everybody that feeds the baby is going to necessarily have to hold the baby. So you want some kind of pillow, not necessarily, you can hold them too. So this is kind of an optional thing, but this has been really great, and it's a boppy pillow. You can also buy one called My Breast Friend, which I have also, but I prefer the boppy pillow. And the other thing that's nice about the boppy pillow is if he falls asleep while you're feeding him, you can kind of lay him across you and then kind of transfer them into some kind of other device, which is nice because he wants to be like, have that touch all the time. And so if you're holding him, he knows whenever you put him down. But if you have this and then you kind of maneuver him, it's perfect. You can transfer him, which is nice when you can transfer him. We've transferred him into this dream cot, which this is the perfect sleeping situation. He does sleep with us a majority of the time. But for a big span of the night, he does sleep in this thing.
And then you bring it into the room.
And you bring it into the room, which is nice. You can either lift it, which we do, we lift it, but this one actually has wheels on it. So you don't necessarily have to lift it. It has wheels. And I love this thing. It's actually super nice. I should have just bought this initially. I do have another bassinet. I hear most people don't even use their crib ever. If you do, more power to you. But the nice thing about this one too is it lifts it and it flips. So then you can have it as kind of a rocking thing. So if you're able to rock your baby to sleep, it's nice because it does rock. We got this one from a website called giggle.com, same place I got the onesies, and it's perfect. They only have it in this color on their website, but there are other websites I've seen that have it in other colors. And then you can also flip it to stationary mode, which is when it's on its side. But we always keep it on the wheels.
Oh, like that?
Yeah, that's stationary. It's much nicer to have it on the wheels.
Still basically stationary.
Yeah, it's still stationary.
And now look, he doesn't even wake up.
Yeah, and he doesn't wake up, and it's perfect. So he will sleep in this for several hours, but then when I start to do the nighttime feedings, I can't get him to fall back asleep in here, so he sleeps in the bed. This bouncer is like the best thing ever, not only because he can sit up and like kind of look around. It also leans down quite a bit too, so if he's in laying position, but he seems to fall asleep in this a lot better than his swing. I know that you don't necessarily need both. And if I didn't have both, I would just have this. And then so if I'm working or something and on the computer, I can put either my hand or my foot on it, and I can kind of bounce it like this, because he's starting to be strong enough to bounce it on his own, but initially he wasn't. And so this, I actually have one of these at home and one of these at work because it's the best thing ever. Also for feeding, I suggest getting a couple types of bottles. First we tried Advent, he hated it. And you're gonna need bottles whether you formula feed or well, you don't necessarily need them if you breastfeed, but if you plan on breastfeeding and pumping, you obviously need a pump, which I think you can get for free now, if you look into it from the government. But he likes a lot these Tommy TP bottles when I do pump. And I also learned in my breastfeeding class, if you want to introduce a bottle, introduce it at 3 weeks, because if you introduce it sooner, they might not ever take a bottle again, or your breast again, because a nipple on a bottle is a lot easier to suck than a breast nipple. So we introduced it, I think, at about 3 or 4 weeks. But you need to just get a couple different bottles just to see what your baby likes. But he really likes the Tommy TP bottle. And I've read really good things about the Dr. Brown's one. We haven't actually tried this bottle yet, but we will. So, got those. Sometimes a baby gets fussy. And the pacifiers that we have found that soothe him the best are the Advent Soothy pacifier. It's the best one, and it's our first try was with this one, and then a couple other ones we tried at home he absolutely hated. So this one has been great. The other one that's really cute are these ones with the little stuffed toy on them, and then the same little Soothy on it. These ones are great if you are baby wearing. So let me show you baby wearing. So the first carrier that we really like is the Baby Bjorn. This is just the original Baby Bjorn. We did have the Baby Bjorn Miracle, which is supposed to be like more ergonomical and whatnot, but it's really bulky, and this one, he's never in it that long that it really matters. Like if I run into the grocery store or something, this is perfect. He falls asleep in it, and if you need to use a pacifier, this is the time to use this one because it acts not only as a pacifier to soothe him, but it also acts as a little pillow. So if he falls asleep on your chest, you can put it behind his head. If he falls asleep kind of up like that, which he does a lot of times, you can put it under his chin so he doesn't smack his face when he goes and does like completely pass out. So we really like the Baby Bjorn carrier, the original. And we also like this wrap, which I will show you how to use. I recommend also a sleep sheet. They come in regular size and to-go size. We have one regular one and 2 to-go ones. And the to-go ones definitely are better. We usually have one strapped to our car seat at all times. And they're nice because you turn them up all the way and you play whatever. We like the rain. and it seems to help him kind of pass out and go to sleep. If he's like really fussy and you need him to fall asleep and he just can't fall asleep on his own, this is very soothing to him. So we like to have a little sleep sheet, and I think you need at least one to-go one.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Maybe 2 to-go ones, because then you can have one at home and then one always car ready, which is nice. The next thing that I recommend having are a bunch of swaddle blankets. These are really nice multi-purpose blankets. We use them, we don't really swaddle him. He doesn't like to be swaddled. They say a lot of babies really like to be swaddled, but he always would get his arms out and then he'd get really mad because his legs would be tightened up, so he'd be kicking there the whole time. So our baby didn't really like to be swaddled, although he did a little bit. In the beginning, like the first 2 weeks, he kind of liked it, but he really did hate it. But they're nice blankets because we live in Florida, and so it's extra hot, and they're a lightweight blanket. They're good for covering from the Florida sun. Whenever you're on the stroller and he's getting like sun on his face, because newborns can't use sunscreen at this point. They're also good as a burp cloth, because people say you need burp cloths and you need bibs. We use these as burp cloths. So they're just a really good multi-purpose thing, especially when breastfeeding. It's good to have it up here and then under the boob that he's eating from, because not only will milk get all over me, it'll get all over him. So it's kind of under his chin. So it's just like the perfect blanket. I don't think that you need burp cloths, although they are nice. I think the swaddle blankets...
just an extra thing that you don't need to have.
Yeah, it's an extra thing you don't need to have, that you're going to have to wash this every time you use one anyway. At least that's how I am. I wash everything. So why not just use 2 for 1? It's perfect. For the first like week or 2, this has been very helpful. Or you can buy something like this. This we got from the hospital, and we asked, my friend recommended asking them to send you home with one, which was really smart. And that way you can write the date, the time you fed, which breast you fed on, right breast, left breast, and then did you, at what you could also do at the same time, because we do it kind of in unison to do like the diaper change and everything. Did they have a wet diaper? Did they have diaper with stool? That was all important at the hospital. However, I didn't always remember to write in here. And so then I'd constantly be like, which boob did I just feed him on? Because you're kind of in a daze in the beginning. This I liked a lot better. And I haven't used it for a couple weeks since we're in the groove of things. But it was perfect because you click it anytime you change the diaper. It turns red, and then you change the diaper, and then it tells you how many minutes ago you changed the diaper. When you feed, you push this, and then it tells you how long ago you last fed, but it also down here has left or right, so if you're breastfeeding, you can click it on which side you last fed. Now that I'm more, and then you can do how long they last slept for. My pediatrician said never let them go like 2.5 hours doing anything. So like if he's sleeping for 2.5 hours, wake him up afterwards, because it'll help him sleep through the night. And our baby does sleep through the night. He never sleeps 2.5 hours during the day though, so that was never an issue with us. He's never been a big sleeper. So he's a night sleeper, not a day sleeper. But this thing's been really, really helpful. I don't use it anymore, but initially it was really helpful. Now the thing with breastfeeding is you can wear like a hair tie on your wrist, and then if you I last fed on my left wrist, so I should have switched this over to my right, but if I actually feel my boobs at this point, I can tell which boob I last fed him on, because I feed him just straight on one boob for the entire time. In the hospital, they initially told me to do 10 minutes and then switch to the other one, but I think my boobs produce so much milk that if I did that, he throws up, so it's not so good. He eats enough from one and it's perfect. I let him finish. Tummy time and diaper place to change a diaper are very essential. This thing is really useful if you want to change a diaper on it and you don't want to buy a changing station. We have a changing station, so it's perfect. But it's nice to have something like this. This is also really good for tummy time initially, because an activity gym initially is a little bit overwhelming for a baby, but it's important for them to do tummy time. Like our baby, he is now flipping from stomach to back, and he started doing that at 7 weeks. So that was really good. He doesn't necessarily like tummy time, so we only do it for like very short periods of time. Like I'm talking like maybe 5 minutes at the most, but it gets him like, you know, moving his head. He has a really strong neck. It's helpful, just very helpful. You need a good diaper bag to carry all of your essentials. I will have a what's in my diaper bag video up very soon. You need a nice changing pad, and luckily my diaper bag came with a really nice changing pad. It's like padded and stuff. Every other changing pad I find that's to go is really flat and not nice. When you have guests come over, you want to make sure, it's not only for guests, it's for yourself as well, but when you have a baby, you're conscious of your hands being clean. Not everybody else is, so you want to make sure that everybody has clean hands. So I bought this hand soap from the Honest Company, and it has a nice organic lemongrass hand soap scent, and it's a company that deals with baby stuff, so you know that it's made for kind of babies. So I have this hand soap, which I really like, and I really like the scent of it. This is a new one, that's why it's still full. And then we also got their hand sanitizer, which has the same like nice little bit of a scent to it. So this is really nice. You also want to have like mini ones, which we do, and I have in my diaper bag and stuff. But this is good, especially for people that, some people don't wash their hands, so you have to like, here, take it. And I think that is everything for the first month. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them below and we will answer them for you in another video. And we'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.